I'm updating my prediction of my future girlfriend's Enneagram DNA, which is tri-type, main type, instinctual sequence, and I'm assuming both wings. So, just to recap what I did before in a previous video is I made a prediction, and also I think I know who this person is, and I have an idea of partnership that we can both build something together, intellectual, like the Enneagram theory and book that I'm working on now. But I don't actually know her, so I have some leads to go on for the personality, but I want to make my guesses before the relationship will come to fruition. So I said 729 because I thought 729 is optimistic. Those are the three numbers that are the most optimistic. They form the optimistic triad. And I'm a pessimistic, and I'm always focused on what do I need, because I am 641, and 4 and 1 are like, I want this right. My gut tells when something is not right to my standard, and the 4 heart is like, I'm always stretching for more, especially artistic projects. I can always tell something's missing, I want it more, and that can get in the way of things sometimes. So 729 has the optimism to balance that out. That's why I chose that. I chose 7 as the main type 1 because 7s are fun. My former musical friend is a 7, and just the energy is just so fun. We think fast, and we go deep, we go quick, and music, we do a lot. So I thought I wanted that. And then I also know that as 4, well, the 6 with the 4 tri-type, both 4 and 6, and self-pres dominant, instinct, overthinking, can't decide, super reactive. So I'm going to need some protection, something to balance me out, where it's like I'm the stereotypical like woman of I'm not sure what to do. I'm getting leaned into all these different possibilities, and so I need like either protection or big picture containment. So I'll need that from her in some capacity. The 8 is the perfect one. So 7 wing 8 would allow that without the 8 having like too much like domination, charging, because I want her to be able to work with my softness as well. So that's why 7 was a good choice. I get that 8, but the wing is less strong than if like 8 was the main type. Let's see, the essential thing, 9 could balance out me having the 1 as the gut type of like, it has to be perfect. Could just put me more relaxed, more at peace. And the 2 really complements the 4 of 2 can read people and get into people and what they're interested in. And I have 4 as the heart type. So I'm always like, wait, can you do a little bit more, a little bit more? It's like, oh, this is negative, and I'll get stuck. So the 2 can help get me out of that. What else? Instincts. Self-pres, like I said, is dominant. That makes me question stuff, because it's like, if something doesn't work, or like for the 4, if the desires don't work, it's like, I want to say eaten by a wild animal, but just the self-pres is that like you can't let it happen. So like for me, I'm drawn to make art perfect because I have that self-pres instinct. I can't just let something go easily. And so I'm saying that she has self-pres last because with her having that repressed, she would balance me out. She'd be able to just keep going, and help me get out of that self-pres, like, do I do it? Do I not? What do I do? Especially self-pres 6 as the main type. Both are just crazy indecision. So, And if I said that self-pres is last for her, repressed, I chose sexual as first. That instinct will just mean she goes forward, and just means that there's more energy for a romantic relationship. There's just a lot of forward motion. But then I put social, but that's secondary. That has to be that way because sexual is one, then social has to be second because self-pres is third. And then because my social instinct's repressed, if hers is not repressed, even second, then she knows how to use the different numbers to stay in groups to look better. And then she can help me with that because my social instincts are repressed with that, so I have issues of not knowing how I come across in groups, or maybe wanting too much, like the 4, but saying for the group benefit, maybe you got to sacrifice here. So that's why I chose before. And I'm altering the choices somewhat. It's not going to be completely different, but I have some updated guesses. And that is what I'm going to be sharing with you. So the first change is that she might be a 5 head type instead of a 7. I love the creativity of the 7, and I'm 6, I have wing 7, I have that access to that really quick creative thinking. But the 5 may work for our relationship better. The 5, it's taking things in and looking from a more objective standpoint, and it can balance me out because I have 4 heart type, and that's all about intuition, emotion. I can sense when things are off, but I also get carried away, and especially with the 6 head type instead of 5. 6 have all these different options, you get overwhelmed with them. So the 5 really gives that balance of I'm going to stay rooted in just thinking about what is coming in, so she can help me not get swept away with things. And in turn, if she's thinking about a theory, she might be really fixed. I would be able to offer some creativity. I could go with her into thinking, or even if she's thinking about something, it's not about belief, A or B, but she's like, okay, how do we make the Enneagram more accessible? She knows all the details, but I could have more creativity to say, here's how we get there. So I can help change thoughts and ideas. She can help me from going too far astray. So I remember earlier I was like 5 or 7. 7's more fun, let's go with it, but 5 is best for me to have a relationship that is, I guess, stable, long-term, helpful. Because in a really great relationship, both of you help each other out. You complement each other. So that's where the 5 comes in. I was also thinking about the 1, because part of what I anticipate we'll do is work with systems like the Enneagram and find how to help people and find how to bring ideas that can improve society. And the 1 is about what is the right way, let me figure it out. And so for this type of cause, she might benefit if her gut type is 1 like mine, so we're more committed to changing, finding the inherent right way, and that's a possibility. But then I watched again Catherine Faber's Tri-Type series, and I was looking through different ones, and I found 258, and that really seemed to bring in what I was looking for, and I'm anticipating all the things we'll do, all the ways we'll complement each other, and the 258 seems to make the most sense here. And why is that? So first, 2, 5, and 8 They're all symmetrical. I'm not having a drawing right now. Maybe I'll update the video, but you go look at the Enneagram. The centers, the triangle is 3, 6, 9. Well, I'll do it my way. 3, 6, 9. The 2 is less than the 3. The 5 is less than the 6. The 8 is less than the 9. And from Catherine's TriStar, it means that you just want to make sure things are okay at a baseline. And then if that's true, then you are okay. So like it complements me. I'm almost the exact opposite, 1, 4, 7, because 1 is advanced from the 9, 4 is advanced from the 3, and 7 is advanced from the 6. So I'm 6, 4, 1, almost 7, 4, 1. And that means there's more requirements for me to be satisfied. With the 1, it's like I have to make sure that righteous standards are met. I write a book. It's hard for me to just write and like free flow. I'm editing it as I'm writing. This inherent standard of this is the correct way to do it. So it's harder for me to just be happy with how things are. I'm always pushing for something. If I'm pushing for something that advances society or the project, then that's the value of the 1, righteous. Like you're showing the perfection. Same thing with 4, but with art. Like I said, I will only be happy if I'm artistically happy, and so I can think, oh no, maybe the musical number could be made this way, but then this would go together with this, or making my rendition of Claire de Lune. I'm like, I have all these things I want to fit, and then it's harder for me to be happy, harder to be satisfied with something ordinary. So the 2, 5, 8 is like the reverse, the inverse of that. Yeah, the 2 serves people, and if people are happy, then that's the 2's mission, so they're happy. So there's not as much constraint. And then the 5 is about detaching, being more intellectual, and it's like making sure that they have enough resources. Like if they're tired, they can go back and sit on their bed, read, have a library, make sure that their resources are okay. But that's easier in a sense than the 7, the head type that moves ahead, and the 7's like, oh, I want to do this, I want to do this, I want to do this. So it's expanding. The 5 is just, as long as I got my space, I'm okay. And then the 8 is like, nothing's going to hurt me. Like, I just want to make sure I'm okay. And that makes them, animated, forceful, but they just want to make sure everything's okay. Whereas that 1, I was saying, so there's 8, then the peacemaker, 9, then 1. You advance to the 1, it's got to be the right way. So it's like an advance. So I'm like not advanced in that sense, but like the 1 and the 4, I push for things to be happy, for me to be happy. 2, 5, 8, things just have to be okay. So that offers tremendous stability, and we're almost opposites. If I was 7, 4, 1, we would be total opposites in this way. I'd be advanced for all 3 numbers. She'd be like retreated. So that's a really interesting trait. And why did I choose the 8? Because Catherine was talking about the 2, 5, 8, and it has different ways of being. Like, for the 2, it could be soft and reach out. For the 5, it can go back and be detached. For the 8, it can just go hard and protect, or say, hey, we need to do this. So it'd be all different ways of being, but thought it just makes the most sense for what I anticipate the relationship to be. If we're doing a lot of intellectual work, then like the 5, making sure all the points are covered, and grounding in data rather than like emotion of type 4, that is really good. Again, like I said, with the 7-2-9, saying the 2 supports the 4. The 2 is like, let me reach out to you, read you, see what you need. And the 4 is like, I have this inherent beauty standard. I want this to be right, and this would be cool, and this would be cool. And the 4 can get stuck in the beauty and like negativity. It has to be right. And so the 2 can help balance that out. And then I think the 8, I think the reason I didn't want the 8 to be a tri-type, to be so loud, is because my mom had 8 in her gut type, and I think there was some overprotection trauma. So, but with a girlfriend, and when we're both healthy, and we're reaching towards things, it's a different situation. Yeah, the 8, there's able to say, like, I can sense the power dynamics off. I can sense if, like, someone's trying to get something from you. And since I've been writing this book and thinking about how deeply I want to change things, if I get my wish, I'm going to need a boatload of protection. I mean, it's so... yeah, the 8-2-5-8 seems to fill in all these... Not fill in, it just seems to make everything make sense. So next, I'll say, do I think she's a 2 as her main, or a 5, or her 8? My argument is that she's a 5, so 5-2-8. And why is that the case? This is a tough one for me to make a call on, but I did, and here's my reasoning. Let's say that she's an 8-2-5 or 8-5-2. The way that the Enneagram works, you have 3 tri-types. You have 3 numbers for a tri-type either way. The main number has 2 wings. It has 2 paths, security and stress. The security and stress could land on the tri-types, which would means you have less numbers in your Enneagram DNA. If they're all different, then it's 7. Like for me, I have 7. 6-4-1. 6 has wings 5 and 7. 6 has paths 3 and 9. So that means I have everything but 2 and 8. Right? I have 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 between all the different connections. But if she's an 8-2-5, she only has 5. There's 2 double countings. The 8 goes in security to 2, and 2 is also a tri-type. So 2 is a double number. And then same with 5. 8 stresses to 5, and 5 is the tri-type number, so it's double 5. So it'd be a very powerful combination. And I still have apprehension that someone with 8 as the main is the right type. I think just such power and like always like exuding that and wanting someone to match the power, like I feel like I need more softness and customization. Like it'd be too much. And then because of those overlaps, there's more numbers missing. Mainly the 1 is missing, the 4 is missing, and then with the 4, I think she has some 4 because she's, if it's the person I'm thinking of, she's a dancer, she's a musician like me, she's really good, so I think the 4 is probably in there somewhere. But, okay, so that's the 8. Then there's the 2. If 2 is her main type, then what I don't like is that would leave her only thinking center of 5, 6, 7. It's just, she'd only have 5. She wouldn't have access to thinking of 6, my main type, or 7, the fast thinking type. still possible. With the 2, she'd retreat to 8 in stress, and 8 is her tri-type. So 8 would be double counted, which I don't know if that'd be scarier than 8 is the main type. I clearly need to get a grip on what level of 8 would be compatible with me, because I'm always worried about too much 8, because I've trauma with my mom's being overprotective. So what I do like, wing 1, having some of that, like, gotta do the right thing, that can help with our mission. And then wing 3, charmer, might be interesting, or host, I think. And then security point to 4, that might be interesting. So even if the 2, I said earlier, it serves and it looks at people and like, how can I help? And 2 can read people. The actual 2 has a security point to 4, which was my tri-type. So I was saying the 2 complements my 4 of always like focusing on what's missing. But if she's a 2, she'd have 4, that 4 security point, so we'd both be able to focus on what's missing as well. This is an interesting one. It also feels like the 2 is the main type, might be a bit soft, considering, well, this particular person is such an achiever. But again, if the 5 tri-type is strong, that could be the case. And it'd be so interesting if she was a 2. 2 tri-type counts as well, but I'd say you're the 2 to my 4, and 24 is my grandma's number. I used to give her math problems for 24. So it's an interesting one. 2 is, if it's not the 5, it's definitely the 2. So why do I choose the 5, at least for now? I like that 4 wing. That's access to creativity. Well, through, I mean, dance, music, and, an Enneagram type of cause. It's intellectual creativity. That seems very 5 wing 4. 5 wing 6. The 6 fear, I don't want someone to have too much of that. But the social instinct, I'll get to in a second. Social 6 is black and white, can help me move on. And my mom had some of that, so I do appreciate that, because one of the biggest things for me is to not get me stuck in my self-pres, like, oh, I can't do it, like, what about this, what if it's wrong? So I need someone to balance that out. I like that if she is a 5, she has access to all the thinking types, 5, 6, 7. That goes if you're a 6, or if you're a 7, you have access to all the thinking types, 5, 6, 7. And she's a 5, 6 would be the wing, the weakest, which is good, because I think fear obsession is not great. I'm a 6, it's not good sometimes. 5 to 7, that would be cool, because I'm looking for some 7. I thought that would be fun, just to have that quick thinking. So if she is a 5 and then I'm a 6, we both have access to 5, 6, 7, all different ways of the head thinking, but in different flavors. Like my 6 main would be her 6 wing, my 7 wing would be her 7 stress, and then she would have access to 8 in security. It's like, I don't know if I'd rather have someone, if I want some protection, do I want someone to have 8 security? Like, as you're more secure, you rise to 8, 5 to 8. Or do I want someone in their stress to go to 8? Yeah, I think security. And that seems like it can be very, very strong. Anything else about the 5? The 9 piece would be gone. 7, 2, 9. I thought 9 would be your piece tri-type. But after hearing about the 2, 5, 8, I think just having that ability to protect and to move forward, but not having that dominate everything, I think that could be really good. Or that'd be a good match for me, whether I like it or not. So yeah, so I'm guessing 528, but 258 is a close second. So then after, the last step is to go over subtype and the instincts. I'm actually changing my mind back to 258. And I'm not entirely sure yet, but I want to finish this today. And I'm going to mention the instincts. Like, self-pres is repressed. That is a call I'm making. The question is sexual or social first? Those two they don't fight against each other, so I'm still going to see the effects of both if I'm right. Like, I have self-pres as first. Like, what if it's the wrong thing? And then sexual is second. So the sexual instinct wants to just leap, but the self-pres is like, wait a minute, it could be wrong. That tension drives me nuts. Oh man. Yeah, instinctual sequence is behind everything. That's how you relate to your numbers. So the question is, am I calling her having a sexual instinct first and then social, or the other way around? I'm not sure, but let me show you how they land onto her given numbers. Now, she could either be a 5 or a 2. I've made up my mind. Try type 258 no matter what. But if she's a 5, then the number configuration is slightly different, and the numbers being like wings versus paths are different. So let's start with 5, sexual. If like sexual is dominant, 5 is her first number, then here's how it would go. I thought I was a sexual 5 because my intelligence and like rapid ideas. So this person would be really cool. Just lots of ideas. I'd have lots of ideas. They're very reluctant to get into a relationship. They're very picky. But if we're going into a relationship, then that issue is solved. And once I finish working through my issues, divine timing, then there's so much that I have to offer. So I can totally see a sexual 5 picking me. So that would be an interesting one. And then also very like complicated romantic like fantasies, ideas. So that would be fun. Wings. Sexual 6, which I think my mom was. That's better than being me, self-pres 6, because if you have fear, you just act and you save time. So that would counterbalance me. Wing 4, sexual 4, like, so that's like something's wrong, angry, but also 4 is creative, and sexual 4 is competitive. So she can get her competitive streak from that. That might be fun, but then if we both focus on the negative, that might not be fun. And I'd hide, like I wouldn't be as vocal about it. She'd be vocal about it. What else? Paths. Stress to sexual 7. And this is why I think one of the reasons 2 might be a better choice, because 5 is very balanced thought, like grounded. But if you stress the 7, then your thoughts go all over the place. And like, if she's going to help balance me out, then her going into 7 of like overwhelm, that wouldn't be good. So if we're both stressed, then then like if she's there to like ground, then she'd have problems with that. So within this model of like me getting help for being more like 4 emotional, that might not be the best thing. And she can still have the 5 grounded. She's even more grounded if 5 is a tri-type, and then 2 determines wings paths somewhere else. Say the same thing for me. Like if I was an actual 4, then I'd be balanced. Like I'd have access to 2. And a 4 is more negative, 2 is more positive. So that's a balancing thing. Okay, bad analogy. 5 to 7, grounded, scattered. So this like 5 tri-type, there's no 7 connection, so it's grounded. Noticing the same for me, but opposite. 4 is my tri-type. I don't have a 2 balancer positive, so it's more negative. In other words, your tri-type is giving you more raw of a number, because if it's your main number and not just a tri-type, wings paths are like opposites. They kind of balance each other out. So the most pure number is a tri-type. Where were we? Okay, so 5 to security goes to 8. So that's helpful. But again, it's insecurity, it's not in stress. Is there anything else? Let's go to if she's a 2, right? She still has sexual 5. That's her head type. That's how she thinks. So all the sexual 5 stuff would still apply. Sexual 2, just being sexy, focusing on the other, like knowing how to impress someone. Obviously that's super nice, especially for a 4 of like, what about this, and like always having another like artistic desire. So sexual 2, yeah, it's an interesting one. And what the 2 would have that the 5 wouldn't are the wings. And so 2 wing 1 would be more principled help. 2 wing 3, more image conscious. With the sexual instinct, sexual 1 could be like principled and then like critical. Sexual 3 could be helping the partner look good. So like she would help me look good. And my mom had that. She's a sexual counterphobic 6, stressed a 3. And I definitely saw that 3 sexual side because she was good at making my dad or me look good. And yeah, then 2 to 4. So 2, security point to 4, rather than, well, here to here, rather than the 5 wing to 4. So security path is stronger, and that could help with the creative side. And then with the sexual instinct, then, she'd be like vocal and really focus on what's not right. But it's a balance, it's an opposite from 2 to 4. But 2 is the baseline. It's like focus on others, but it can go to 4, then focus on herself, but be creative. Now I think that makes more sense. Stress to 8, and like I was just saying, that might be more useful if she's able to, well, fortify her 8 point, because 2, 5, 8, tri-type 8's already in there. That's her gut type way of being. But if stress, she adds some going from 2 to 8, should really fortify that. It also, if that's unhealthy, could be like the 2 is like, let me help you, and then if someone refuses, they'll be like, hey, like I'm digging in my heels, I'm helping. So it all depends, but I think the 2 makes more sense. I'm switching to 258. That was the sexual instinct. Final decision. Is this 258 sexual social self-pres or social sexual self-pres? Next, social instinct. Okay, 258. And then let's talk about social instinct. So in general, it means you have an instinct to belong in the social group. You're going to use your numbers to help you have good standing in the social group. And you have passion about the social group. And that's true no matter whether she's, 258, 528, sexual, social. She cares about the group. And with intellectually, it's funny, I anticipate wants to really help the world. My idea is I want to help the world at the appropriate stages, but I want to do so because I see what's missing with the 4, and I want to create something around that, and I want to deliver that and to see that be realized. But my social instinct is repressed, so you don't have to have a social instinct to really help the social group. But I'm thinking she really wants to, from a place of identifying with the social group and saying, I'm part of it, let's make it better, I'm driven for that reason. So there's so many open ends to personality. So let's just, since I'm switched to 2, let's just do the different numbers from the 2 perspective with social instinct. Social 2 is just serving the group, being involved, and not if I'm involved, I want my ideas or concepts to land. With the 2, it's about seeing, discerning what the others are what the need is, and then serving them. So there's 2 wings. So for the 1 wing, the social 1 is just they are perfect, doing what they have to, showing up on time, and that could help me because social repressed. I need to get better at those things. And then social 3, so she'd focus on image, which would make sense being a performer. Social 3, just knowing how to be have people like you. And at least the person I'm thinking of is popular. And if not, just able to do really well in the group, because for various reasons I'm more like a hermit. I can do really well in interactions, but that's more the 4 in me. That's not the social instinct, because that's repressed. Her security point to 4, with the social instinct, she's still creative, but there's more sadness. And actually, if she's thinking about how to improve the world, then when you're a social 4 in any capacity, if it's like a wing or security, you're just, the 4 wants to just stand out, be a star, do something different, but that's opposite the social group. So if your social instinct is strong, you're sad because you see how things could be or how you could stretch, but you're stuck in the social group. You value it too much. So there could be some sadness there. Social 5. This means she finds information and shares it with the group. And she's concerned about the in-group and the out-group, that she really values spending time with the right people, because it's an effort of her to deal with the 5 motivation of not spending time with everyone, recharging your battery, finding if you're in group or the out group for social. That helps you avoid time with the wrong people. But I think thinking about ideas for the social group is key to what we can do together. If she's a 2, there's no 6, there's no 7, only 5. So 5 thinking is very powerful. And then last is 8. 2 stresses to 8, but social instinct, it's not just like protecting her partner. It's like being bold for the social group. And that's very opposite how I am. But obviously she's going to protect her partner as well and be able to like set boundaries. So yeah, so that's the social group. And I'm going to come back and make my call. Do I think sexual is first or social is first? I've made my decision. She is a social 2. 258 social, sexual, self-pres, instinct sequence. Why did I pick social? First, sexual is going to be quite strong as a second, because if the social group like is doing well, it's easy to move into sexual. But for me, self-pres makes me second guess everything, so it's super hard to move into sexual. So I think I'll see her sexual instinct moving forward a lot more than she'll see me overall. If the self-pres is okay, if I'm not fearful of something going wrong, then I'll go into it. But that means, so I said that this will be compatible with seeing both instincts. But why do I think social actually is first? Well, I think for building something and like to help the world, Enneagram, or like just with a lot of intellectual like creativity and wanting to help the world, I think from her seeing the world from like needing to be like enmeshed in it is really helpful to like understand the issues of the world, see what it needs, and help me, because social repressed, I'm not as up to date, I don't feel things as much, I'm like more on the outside. So one thing, she'll feel things better, she'll be able to use that for us to help the world. But more importantly, she'll help me develop my repressed social instinct, or just be a good person around for that. I was thinking, social 2, it's just because she's so creative, or into dancing, music, or artistic, if it's not the person I'm thinking of, I was like, how is it a social 2 the main? But I have to remember, I'm self-pres 6 as a main, super indecisive. That's the most indecisive of any subtype. But the 1 and the 4 changed that 100%. So if I think of social 2 just like being interested in serving the group, that seems different from the types of things we're going to do from a relationship. But remember, sexual is a close second, and then you really see her just go forward and do things one-to-one. And the 5 tri-type in her completely changes the game. Like, thinking is just so smart, objective, grounding for me, that gets carried away. So I think that's all making sense. and also the security point to 4, it also depends on how much she feels secure, and that's dependent on her situation. And I think maybe she might go to 4 more for the creative side, probably because her circumstances like made it okay. Like she's able to get like a lucky family. Like I got super duper lucky, but if you got lucky enough where she could advance to the 4 side more, then maybe that's why the creative side and like the work is showing. Okay, and overall, like I said before, 258 is retreating from 369. All those numbers minus 1. 3 minus 1 is 2. 6 minus 1 is 5. 9 minus 1 is 8. Just has to be okay with stuff. Whereas mine is 1, 4, 6, not 7, but 1 is advanced, 4 is advanced. So she can help balance me trying to be too many goals required to make me feel happy. She can say, yep, good enough here, decide here, it's all right. Yeah, and she can help my self-pres instinct die down. I can help her self-pres instinct rise up if she's moving too fast. And then social instinct, she can help mine go up. And then, I can help her bring it down. Because even though social instinct sounds good, our dominant instinct is the most unhealthy, needing to be brought down to grow. So I can say, hey, you've done enough helping the group, and like, realizing your dominant instincts are to be worked on, and at her own pace, then she can reduce it, because if you're on social instinct dominant, you're on overkill, helping the group, doing whatever you can to be good with the group. So to be healthy, you're like, you don't need to do it that much. Just like for me, self-pres, worry, what if it's wrong? You don't have to worry about that so much, but easier said than done. Okay, that is my prediction of my future girlfriend's type. Whether it is the particular girl I have in mind or not, that is still my best guess based on everything I know about me, what makes sense for me, purpose-wise, compatibility, and we'll at some point we will see whether this guess modification is correct.